Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? It's non-farm payroll day. I'm going to come on a bit early this afternoon for non-farm. So we're going to bring the live room forward a little bit this afternoon. I'm probably not going to trade any futures or do any scalping this afternoon. I've got other bits and pieces to get on with. So do the live room early. Be on for non-farm payroll, which is 1:30. So I'll start the live room at 1 instead of 2 today. Yeah. So I will obviously I'll put a note out in Telegram group. And obviously if you are watching this and you haven't hit the notification bell and subscribe, do that, because obviously then you'll get a notification when the live room goes live. Yeah. Let's have a look at where we are and what's going on. Let's wait for, we'll give it a couple of minutes, just wait for a few more people to amble in early in the morning. How's everybody doing? Everybody make lots of money yesterday? I haven't even had a look at the EAs actually. No idea where I am. Nice P&L. Yours or mine, Peter? Yeah, I've had a nice breakfast. The challenge for anybody that makes money in the morning is not to give it all back during the day. So that's the real test, whether that is still there or higher by the end of the day. Let's just have a quick look at the EAs and just see what we've got on at the minute. So we got just under 4% drawdown on H1M5. Nothing banked this week. It's been a really uninteresting week. So I've got €4 on at the moment, short. Well overexposed on the euro, as you can see. That's why the drawdown's there. But it's only I've got 3 positions on euro US dollar, which is just rolling over this morning. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And I've got single positions on the others off the back of that big move yesterday. So we had a reversal alert late in the day yesterday after the big spike. So hopefully those will all just play out today. Done 2% so far this week on H4M15. Again, not many opportunities H4M15, or not of the pairs that I'm trading, because I'm trying not to get over leveraged. So I haven't got massive amounts of pairs on that actually got extended this week. Trend pullback is in profit. Again, 1.3% this week. Bank something, it's good. And COT. So COT's gone into drawdown because I've got it running on 28 different pairs. So obviously that's going to get way more overexposed. We have 5 exposures on the euro. Good experiment this, trading in line with COT bias. Just shows you what can happen when you get overexposed. So good little lesson being taught here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 euro shorts on. This is all euro short, yeah, virtually all of it. So this is why we don't get into multiple positions, more than 2 positions on each individual currency. Overexposure. This is kind of what I was hoping this was going to do, so I can show you what happens. This is a cent account this one's running on, so there's not actually a massive amount of money in there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Little experiment. Let's just have a quick look at what the strategy quant EAs are up to, just for those who are interested. 11% loss yesterday. Got 5% in the bag so far. Euro US dollar longs. I just want it to bank. Do you know what? These strategy quant EAs are all working off of TPs and stop losses, and they've all got, some of these have got trailing stops on. But when you see 3% in the bank and the EA not taking it, and having conviction that the euro is going to come down today, it's really hard not to manually intervene, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let these guys all play out to their fruition. The other portfolio is up 2% with 0.5 banked, lost 1.8 yesterday, so pretty much break even on that one. Keep an eye on them. Right. So where are we today? EA got me into those two. Cool. Big Vet 0. I'm so exposed on Euro. Don't get overexposed. Danger. Right. So today, non-farm payroll. Big day. So Aussie dollar. We'll have a look at the monetary policy statement on the Aussie overnight, see if anything happened there. We've got Broadbent speaking at 12:15. Possibly get some movement off of this day. Obviously, we had the rates released yesterday. So he may say something. Quite often, we obviously have press conferences after these rate announcements, and we have statements released with the rate announcements, obviously the monetary policy summary, etc. Quite often, things come out in the statements and the conferences which get misconstrued a little bit by the market. And quite often what you have is the next day, and Lagarde did this before Christmas, the market completely misunderstood what was said in the press conference. It went absolutely crazy. Then she came out the next day and went, no, this is what I actually meant. And then the market goes, oh, and that goes like that. So there's a possibility we may get something this afternoon where something is corrected or clarified that puts a little bit of a different shift on the pound. So we'll keep an eye on that one, 12:15. Just be on the lookout for volatility around that time. And then obviously the big news is 1:30. So I'm going to come on at 1 o'clock today instead of 2 o'clock. Set your watches so that we can trade this. I might do a little bit of scalping around it with very low risk because I don't really want to lose that. So yeah, that's today. Earnings today as well. Where are we? February the 4th. So we got Aon today, pre-market. We had Activision, Amazon, Pinterest, Snap, Unity and Ford yesterday post-market. We had a big spike on NASDAQ late in the day. Amazon's not having a good day today. Jeez. Amazon's earnings weren't good then. Can't believe that, but hey. That's what it looks like. So we had a big spike on NAS, end of market, and then it's still started to correct today. So we'll have a quick look at what's gone on overnight. So NASDAQ, the DAX is coming down very hard today. I've written this down. Obviously, this is what I posted in the Telegram group this morning. Yeah, posted that in the Telegram group this morning, saying there was a potential gap fill starting. I started trading it. And that's how I banked all this morning. Just gave you updates on it. And now the gap is filled. So all done. Gap fill. And we are still coming down. NASDAQ, this is what I was talking about. I took one off on the NAS yesterday. I had one from up here somewhere. Which I took off down here towards the end of day. I'm getting really wary of these. This is happening a lot on earnings. It always happens on earnings. But you get these big spikes in the opposite direction on earnings a lot. But it's all coming back down today. This is obviously a whacking great gap, which is coming down to get filled. So this was obviously all the earnings. It was basically anticipation of earnings. So what happens at the end of the day when you've got a post-market earnings, i.e. the market's going to close and then they release the figures, people put in speculative positions assuming what's going to happen. And then obviously if that happens, brilliant, they make a fortune. If it doesn't happen, they don't. And at the moment it's all coming back down again because the earnings obviously weren't amazing. So nice fade on the indices so far this morning. You should look to fade it all the way back down to there. All coming down. Where we are with them, obviously the 24.72 bounce at the moment looks like it's playing out. We've got a 3-bar reversal on the daily on the S&P. Nasdaq, lovely big bearish engulfing at the 24. This was a big down day yesterday, and obviously they had that spike. This tail is that spike at the end. As you can see, if you look at it on the hourly chart, yeah, we were all the way down there, and we were looking to close as a big bearish candle, and then all of a sudden they went, nah, we'll put in a hammer. So yeah, it's still bearish. And I expect this to come down today. I've got one sell on it. I had sell limits strategically placed, H4 levels up here. We didn't get back up to them, unfortunately, so I didn't manage to get gathered on those. And I've got a low break there as well. And what I'm going to do as well is go... I've got one. I was going to put one on the break of that wick, but it's too close. I'm not going to get another one there. So yeah, indices. It is looking, doesn't it? It have to say, it is looking like the collapse is underway. Crypto, not happy at all. So it's all starting to come down. It's interesting how Ethereum has taken over from Bitcoin now as the dominant currency. The dominant crypto. It is holding up so much better than Bitcoin now. It's much more stable to trade. So I think Ethereum is kind of, although it's not the dominant from a volume perspective, it's acting much more like a proper currency than Bitcoin is. So, but all down. Right, so that's indices. Aussie dollar overnight. We had talking head. What time was he? 3 o'clock, wasn't he? 12:30. So early hours, no movement. So we accumulated. End of Asia, we've started to sell off on the Aussie. So there was nothing on the news happened that's had any impact on that one. So I just got people constantly spamming crap in the Telegram group at the moment. It's just like, I've been seeing posts everywhere, and a lot of people have been saying, reach out to him, and I eventually did, and he turned out to be a legit investment, €300, and I received 3,750 euros within 5 days. Contact this scammer and lose all your money. Please don't contact those scammers. As soon as I see them, they are banned, reported, and deleted. So much of it going on at the moment. And if you get contacted by me in the Telegram group trying to sell you something or invest for you or take over your account, it isn't me. I don't do that. Just word of warning. I know most people have got half a brain, but obviously some people haven't, because some people do that. Anyway, moving on. So let's have a look at where we are today. Sorry, wrong one. ADRs, nothing. So yesterday, ADRs, euros. This was lit up like an absolute Christmas tree yesterday. We had, was it 400%? Which was the strongest? I think it was euro yen, wasn't it? Oh, wrong one. So let's just go out to M30. You can see it all then. So 86 ADR. We managed 235 on the euro yen. Euro odd, euro CAD, euro Swiss. 1600 off of 56 ADR. 300 ADR move. Euro pound, we got 131, and then our friend the euro US dollar, 183 pips basically. So yeah, massive movement off of the rate announcement yesterday. It's starting to roll over now. We've had a reversal alert. We've had a retest of the reversal alert. We've had a lovely bearish engulfing going in at the moment. So these were all crazy. Euro Swiss. Yeah, I mean, Euro Swiss just went like the clappers. We had obviously from a US dollar perspective yesterday, we had a weak US dollar in London, coupled with for some reason, a strong euro. And obviously from a euro US dollar perspective, that absolutely screamed. So today, we've just done this gap fill. We started to react out of it yesterday, and we've got a nice sort of cup on handle forming at the moment. So break of this level. So reversal alert basically is what we're looking for today on the hourly. That will bring us back above resistance. And if we get that, next stop is there, obviously into all this selling pressure from yesterday. So I'm expecting, hoping non-farm today to do one of two things. So non-farm, typically non-farm London, we accumulate. So movement in London quite often is accumulative, building positions ahead of non-farm. Sometimes we do get movement, but most of the time we get an accumulation. So the fact that we had such a big movement yesterday, we may well see it all start to move today before non-farm, because this is such a violent move, and it's a massive squeeze basically. So what I'm expecting non-farm to do today is one of two things: either act as the catalyst to get that US dollar move started, or to liquidity run Asia and then push. So I'm expecting either way a Dixie push this afternoon. Whether it comes out the gate or whether they try and do that will depend on this morning's movement. So if we see a really nice strong move on the US dollar during London, highly likely we're going to get a liquidity run off of non-farm payroll. So just have a look at what it does today. If we get a fade in London, I reckon non-farm will just go out the gates. But difficult, obviously you can never tell. Regardless of what that news is, it's going to do what the market needs it to do to make money. Non-farm payroll is a reactionary news event, not a leading news event. But what I mean by that is the non-farm figures are reactionary to monetary policy. They have no influence on future monetary policy. So it's not an indicator that has a fundamental shift. You won't get anything fundamental. Interest rates, M2 money supply, building permits, that sort of stuff is leading indicators. Those have a direct impact on the Fed's monetary policy decisions. Non-farm employment change and figures like that come out, PMIs and things, are reactionary. They are what's happened as a consequence of the Fed's monetary policy. So it's a manipulation event, basically. So it doesn't matter what the figures are, they'll just do what they want with it. And depending on how much liquidity is sitting down here, and I would imagine a fair bit today, if we get a decent pullback and push and break today, there's going to be a hell of a lot of people long in it, and they're going, aha, this is the end. Now we're going to start to turn. And of course, everybody's stops is going to go under there. So it's going to make total sense to dump it on non-farm before they go. So we'll see. See what happens this morning. But that's my kind of take on where we are at the moment. At the moment, Euro is still pushing again this morning. Look, there's nothing fundamental yesterday on that ECB press conference yesterday. And obviously the rates. So basically Lagarde came out yesterday and said, it's business as usual, the same as we've been for the last few years. We're not doing particularly well. We're not expecting to do particularly well. We can't touch interest rates, bank rates, anything. Inflation's going up. It's all getting bad. We're not going to hike the rates. And it's basically nothing different to what we've had for the last 8, 10 press conferences and rate announcements. Yeah, there's nothing changed from an ECB perspective yesterday. Right? They're stuffed. They've been stuffed for years. And COVID hasn't helped. So why the euro is pumping right now, I really don't know. all I can think is it is a massive squeeze. The market is just doing a massive squeeze move, ready to dump. So, we're way out the top here on the daily. Look at this daily candle. I can't see anything fundamental. I mean, I might be missing something, but I can't see anything fundamental that is positive for the euro. So I'm still short of the euro against everything. We do this every now and again. We have a pump out the top, but look what happens after we've pumped. We've managed to get the 200 on the euro pound a couple of times. So, there's a possibility. We might, if we get a 225 ADR move in the next 2 to 3 days. Yeah. If we are, I'll be quadrupling my position. I'm not in it, but I'm in euro US dollar. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with the euro. Just all I can say with all of these euros, if you're in any of them, is just look for the next stop on the train. Yeah, you're on the train. Where's the next station? There. Yeah, get in again. So yeah, all of these, just keep an eye on where we're heading with the euros. And just see where the reaction points are, because at the moment it just doesn't seem to want to stop. So it's akin to this, isn't it? It's like absolutely no reason for the euro to be spiking because it's on its knees. Next time it gets there, expect exactly the same thing. The elevator shaft, A-shaped recoveries. That's all you get with the euro. Big strong push, A-shaped recoveries, because the currency's not strong. So yeah, same thing. Look. All pairs. Just look at all the euro moves in the past. There's nothing different happening now on the euro to what we've had before. Yeah. So don't get too scared or worried about it. This is going to be a squeeze potentially. Euro US dollar is the only one that is a little bit of an anomaly, because obviously the euro US dollar we've got non-farm. So if we're going to get the expected power up on non-farm, this area here where the initial selling move started to take us back down here before we flagged and dropped, this is going to be defended. Long-term investors will be watching this area for additions. So we got nice tweezer top move there. If we can get up to there, this is what I mean today. If we can get non-farm to stop hunt low, that will push euro up to here. That is where you get in. If they don't just obviously dump. So yeah, all big moves yesterday on euros. Pound, similar sort of thing yesterday, but we retraced a lot of it. Obviously yesterday. So we had the stop hunt from hell. Everybody that jumped in short there is dying. Yeah, that's a typical announcement. Yeah, this is what we tend to expect to see off of news events. This is just a liquidity run. So they basically took out everybody's positions to the highs. They came back down and took out everybody's positions to the lows from the day. So they basically wiped the market clean, ready for a reset long, because the pound is a long. And they did that on most of them. So still long pound. Not going anywhere at the moment. Obviously it's non-farm, so we're not going to get a lot of movement. Yen, we also had weakness on yesterday. So a lot of stuff pushed up against the yen. That's all starting to retrace now. So any yens you've got on, the euro yen is the only one which is struggling, because obviously we still got, for some reason, a strong euro this morning. So any yen strength we're getting is being countered by the euro strength, which is unusual because the euro's never stronger than anything. So I just can't. I don't know if anybody's seen any news anywhere else that I've missed, but there's nothing positive that I saw coming out of the press conference yesterday. So unless I've missed something, this is just a squeeze. Right, so ADRs, nothing. You can ignore the weeklies. Monthlies, we've got Euro Swiss. So we are what? The fourth day of the month, and we've already put in the entire monthly range of the Euro Swiss in a day, pretty much, haven't we? So the Euro Swiss is off the charts. So yeah, this one basically, you can see what the normal range is. Yeah, we're normally running in around about a 50 to 60 pip range. it's so basically the normal range of the Euro Swiss is 186 pips a month. That's its normal movement, 186 pips a month. We did yesterday 160 of those. So this is absolutely shot. So again, like I say, I'm going to spend a bit of time this morning just scanning news, but I'm just going to visit all the news sites and just really have a good read up on what Lagarde said yesterday. But yeah, good opportunities on the Euros. Which brings me nicely onto the RSIs. We don't get here very often. This is this lights up. I keep saying this every now and again. This lights up maybe once or twice a quarter. You might see that. We're getting really close, aren't we? So all of these Euros on the 4 hour, and they're still pushing this morning. So make sure with all of these, just in case, make sure you spread out your positions. Do not get in tight on these. Make sure you're leaving a bare minimum of half an ADR between positions, probably 3/4 to 1 ADR after a move like that. Give yourself breathing room just in case we are going to get a three ADR push day. We might get 3 days on the trot where it just goes for it. So, but all of these Euro odd up to 75, Euro CAD, sky's the limit. I mean, the reason I stop at 80 is because we very rarely, when we get outside of 80, yeah, it's like, right, we are absolutely ready for the profit take. We're ready for the profit take. Yeah, Euro CAD, Euro Swiss off the scale, Euro pound getting up to the 80s, Euro yen off the scale, Euro New Zealand high, Euro US off the scale. It's starting to roll over now. Euro US. We have had some weakness coming through this morning. But yeah, so all of those shot to bits. If you want to take initial positions here, if you haven't got into any of these at all yet, this is pretty good. If we embed here and squeeze for another couple of days, the elevator shaft on this is going to be huge. But I've just got this feeling, you see this over and over again. This is what I keep saying about chart time. You need to be putting chart time in. You need to be seeing these things happening every month. You get these moves and then you get non-farm payroll and literally 2 to 3 days worth of movement is undone literally in an hour. Gone. You need to be on it when it happens. So just be prepared for this afternoon. So yeah, they're all massive extensions on H4. Swiss yen as well. Swiss yen is obviously pushed off the back of the euro move. Yen is starting to take control of the Swissy this morning. We've got a weak Swiss franc by the looks of things this morning. Just have a quick flick on the Swissies. No, this is yen strength this morning. Yeah, so this is yen strength coming through this morning. So this Swiss yen is actually yen powering up. Beautiful wicks. So you got your extension yesterday on that. Off the back of that big wick. Another big wick got in this morning. So pull back minimum to that area. Pound CAD. So pound CAD obviously is a long from a COT perspective. Let's just see where this one's headed. We've already headed there by the looks of things. So potentially we've obviously double topped here. So we might get the pullback, the profit take move now over the next day or so. God, it's hacking down the rain out there. Haven't seen rain for ages. So yeah, very nice move up. Sellers take control, but it is a long. So this is counter COT, but it is very, very nicely extended. So we should be starting to see a profit take move starting on that one. Pound yen, again, same thing. Yen starting to take over. Look at these wicks. Rejection, 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 rejection. The sellers are stepping right in here, going nope. So good short opportunity on that one. Pound yen dropped down to M15. M15 happened in Asia. You see, this is a lovely look. This for resistance. Yeah, we are not going through that level. We tried it in London. We tried it in New York. We tried it in Asia twice. We're not interested. So that's pound yen. Looking good for a short. Pound US dollar obviously is extended. That's starting to roll over now. US dollar's not particularly strong in the open. So this looks like potentially a little bit of pound weakness. No. So this is, I'm not quite sure why this is coming down so fast this morning, because the Dixie's not actually pushing that hard, is it? A little bit. Don't know. But yeah, they're starting to roll over. So if you got into this one, which was extended from, when was that? 2nd. So that was Tuesday, wasn't it? So we got extended on the 2nd. So initial entry on the pound US dollar would have been back there. Here. So you're basically back to where you would have got in initially on this one. So obviously we haven't had a reverse alert on this because of the push. So yeah, lots and lots of opportunities, mainly all euro based, obviously at the moment based on that movement. Hourlies is not really worth going through. It's the same thing. So euro yen. Just look at that divergence. Yeah, if you ever want to see textbook divergence, massive selling pressure coming through. Get ready. Go through the EA new feature. Yeah, I'll do that in a sec. Haven't got it on here. Yes, I can. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, well, I'll do that one in a sec. That's right, I can get it. I'm on a different laptop to my main machine. So, US dollar yen. So that's nicely extended on the hourly. Again, US dollar yen be a bit careful with, because the yen is strengthening up. We're expecting the US dollar to strengthen up as well. So not that extended. It's not looking that amazing, is it, yet? 70 is where I like to start paying attention. 75 to 80 is where I'm overly enthusiastic. So we're not quite getting there yet. It's come off very, 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 very nicely at the moment off of resistance though. So it's starting to roll over at the point you would expect a move down. 125 weekly hit on Euro New Zealand. That's no surprise. So that's really all we've got on there. So let me just see if I can find my EA. One sec. Version 4.3. Uh, 2nd of February. Okay. Right. So the new feature. Let me just stick it on a blank chart. So basically, let's stick it on M1. I'll just get it to take a trade, basically. So, new features are here. Price touch feature. So you've now got a price buy level and a price sell level. Yeah. So all these are literally for people that, and a few people have requested this, want to get in on support and resistance bounces. Yeah. So let's have a quick look at a chart. Right. So here's a perfect example. Right. So we got a lovely little support resistance there. Yeah. And this is at 115,116. Right. So what you would do is you would stick the EA on there and you would say, I want to take a short with whatever settings you want. If we get to 115,116. Yeah. And this bars to verify is when the reversal alert happens, it needs to happen within this many bars, right? So if you want to just make sure that if it's touched it or it's traded above it or whatever, just set this to 999. Yeah. So basically what that is doing is it's going to now wait for price to get to 115,116 within that many bars. And as soon as you get a reversal alert, it will trade. So if this had, for example, pushed up here and done that and given a reversal alert, it wouldn't enter because it missed the level, didn't it? But if it pushes up and touches it and then comes down, gives a reversal alert, it would take a trade. If it pushes up above it, gets a reverse alert, it would take a trade. Yeah. So all this price touch feature is this looks like it's entering a nice level of potential resistance. If it does what I think it's going to do, which is hit resistance and bounce and give a reversal alert, get me in and start me trading. If it pushes up here and fizzles away, don't get me in. So it could give you a reversal alert there before it touched and it won't get you in. Yeah. So that's all it is. And obviously for a buy level, you would say the same thing. Yeah. Here's a lovely level of support. If we get down and we touch support, get me on the next reversal alert. Yeah. So that's exactly what that setting is. That make sense? And hopefully that's what you wanted because you asked for it. So yeah. So the beauty of it is really it's good for people. There's in the EA. There's already settings for trading at yesterday's high and yesterday's low, which is a good little feature. And you've got an ignore filter on these as well, obviously, so that it will, if you're position trading, it will ignore these filters after the first trade. But that's not really, you don't really need this, to be honest, because if you touch this and get in, yeah, and then it pushes against you, it's above that level anyway, so of course it's going to get in. But you need this set to 999. Yeah, I would. Or just have that set to ignore after the initial trade. Yeah. So yeah, we got yesterday's high and yesterday's low feature, which is obviously designed for liquidity run. So let's try and find one on this. There's not one on this chart. Let's find another chart on M15. So there's one there. So that's yesterday's high. Yeah, so the trade above yesterday's high or trade on a touch of yesterday's high basically is we push up, we take the liquidity of everybody that entered short there and we pump back down again. Yeah. So that's what that's doing. So we've got yesterday's high, we've got yesterday's low in the EA already. And this is just a variation on that setting, basically. Outside daily highs and lows, or pierced daily highs and lows. And this is basically exactly the same functionality, except you can now pick the price rather than it being a set price. Do we put it in M15? It's whatever you want. Doesn't any time frame you want. Up to you. You asked for the feature. I don't know how you want to use it. It's basically it's support and resistance. So basically, what that feature is allowing you to do now is trade support resistance bounces. Yeah, double tops, double bottoms. If we put that in and give a reversal alert, get in. Yeah. So right now on CAD Swiss on M5, and you can do it on M15 There's support and resistance levels on everything, isn't there? Down there. H4. Down there. So, it doesn't matter what time frame you're on. It's the same principle, yeah? So what I'm going to say is, today, and that happens to be yesterday's low, right? But what I could do is say, actually, I'm going to use the week's low. So this is the low of the week for the CAD Swiss. Yeah, this level here, which is 72,326. So what I'm going to say is, to my reversal alert indicator, my EA, is I want to go long. Yeah, if we hit 0.72326. And within 10 bars. So, 10 bars is probably enough, but I would, call it 50. Yeah. So what the EA is now going to do is, if we push down to here today, and we either bounce off of the weekly low, or we stop hunt and take the liquidity from the weekly low, I'm going to get in on the first reversal alert. It's literally a double bottom or stop hunt level. Yeah. So again, it's to use, you use it with the EA in a semi-automated way. This isn't something you can put in the strategy tester and back test long term, obviously, because you don't know what levels you want to trade at yet, do you? But you've got a lovely range here, haven't you? Yeah. So what you could do with the EA is say, trade in both directions. Yeah. And if we get down to here and bounce, get me in. If we get up to here and bounce, get me in. So I set my sell level at 0.72676. Yeah. So what will happen now is, where we are here, if it does that today, I'll get in. If it does that today, I'll get in. Do we set it on our entry time frame? Yeah, of course you do. Whatever you put the EA on is your entry time frame, isn't it? The EA takes trades on the time frame you enter it on. And this is part of the EA. So yeah, it's nothing to do with anything else. It's literally when you get a reversal alert look right here. The settings I've got right now, that would have taken a trade there. It wouldn't have taken a trade there because this never hit that. I'm surprised I'm having to explain this to you, DJ, because you asked for this feature. I would expect of all people, you would be the person that would understand this one fully. Anyway, that's what it does. So there you go. I'll clip this out and whack it in the Telegram group. Or actually, I'll just send a link and I'll figure out what time it was. What's the time? 9:15. Let me make a note of that. 9:15 is when I stopped talking about it. So I'll have a look at when I started talking about it, and I'll put a timestamp on it and stick it in the Telegram group so that people can go and watch it if they want to, an explanation of it. But it's explained in the manual. And to me, it's very, very simple. It literally is a case of if you touch that, take a trade. If you touch that, take a trade. If you don't touch either of those, don't do anything. Yeah. So it's a bounce. This would be great in ranges. Yeah. So looking at the Dixie, yeah, when we had the range built, we had this range built here, didn't we? Yeah, so any time from kind of there onwards, you could have just said, right, if we get down to here, or we get back up to there, get me in, and assume that we're going to continue to do that. Just being thorough. Nothing wrong with being thorough. That's good. Yeah, so there you go. That's what it does. Lesson over. I don't want it to do that, so I'm going to remove it. Right. Let's just take those lines off because they'll confuse the hell out of me. I won't have any clue why I put them on there. What's that line there? What's that 100% that keeps appearing there? What's that? There's some weird. Don't know what that is. I've got some weird anomaly on my chart. Looks like it's the top of a fib or something. Anyway, ignore that. Right. So that's it. That's the EA. That's what it does. The new feature. I'm not planning to add anything more to the EA now. That's it's got so much in it. If you can't make money with it as it is, I don't know what else to do. People keep saying, can you add a stochastic to it, or can you add this indicator? I've found this indicator that does this. Can you add that into it? If I do that, it's just going to become impossible to test in the strategy tester. The more functionality and features you add to an EA, the slower the testing becomes, because every feature is a few hundred lines of code. That EA is now up to, I think, 5,500 lines of code in there. It's not a simple bit of kit. So I can't keep adding features to it because it will just get slower and slower and slower and slower. And I want it to be usable for people. So if you've got other ideas that you want to use with the market reversal alerts indicator, I'm happy to look at them for another product, if you like, that we can get built. Or the EA has the indicator has all the buffers you could ever need in it. Yeah, market reversal alerts indicator. Yeah, we got buffers coming out of the backside, 22 of them, which is every feature and functionality in the reversal alerts indicator. If you want to build your own EA with the indicator, go do it. There's even tools out there that you can use to build EAs. So go and Google. So that's all I've got for you really today. I've got nothing else that I'm particularly looking to get into at the moment. I'm in everything from an hourly and a 4-hourly perspective that I want to be in from those extensions. There's no ADRs hit, obviously, today. So, yeah. I'm just going to basically... I've got more coding to do today on a new EA that I'm working on for scalping, which is kind of for me. So I'm going to be building out that this morning in more detail. Diamond, I had a request. Would be nice if the basket setting close in on X profit was a % rather than a dollar amount. Yeah, that's... I have looked at that. From a back testing perspective, that has no impact. Because when you do back testing, you should always do back testing with a fixed lot size anyway. So from a back testing perspective, it doesn't add anything to strategy development. From a moving forward perspective, setting this close in money, which is the one you're talking about. So this account is $5,000 now, I think. I can't remember. It was $2,000 when I started it. I think it's up to $4,000 or $5,000 now. So for me, if I want to target 1%, that is what I would do. When the account grows, it takes literally 2 minutes, maybe every 3 or 4 weeks, because realistically, yeah, you're not going to be looking to extract more than 5 to 10% a month out of the EA. 15%. I mean, if you're getting really aggressive, obviously you're going to get more and your account is going to grow faster, but there's a hell of a lot more risk involved. But if you need to come into the EA once a month and just go, oh, my account's now up to 6,500, just do that. I know it's a little bit more hassle, but again, it's another thing to add, another thing that the algorithm runs through in the strategy tester, another slowing element. And, you know, your account isn't going to grow so fast that you're going to need to adjust this on a daily or a weekly basis. So just pop it up. You know, if you're growing at 500 to 1,000 or whatever a month in your account balance, once a month, you're going to have to go from 55 to 60 to 65. It doesn't take any time at all. So I understand what you're saying. It would be easier as a percentage, but this is what people asked for. And, I kind of just did what everybody wanted. And, yeah, there's so many different options. I still think, manual, semi-manual. You've got to be watching these trades, yeah. I'm watching, like I said, I'm in my VPS constantly, looking at what the EA is doing. Because I need to make sure it's not going... some pairs are not running away from me. So the fact that I'm constantly looking at the EA or looking at the account means, if I have to whiz through and change 10 pairs profit targets, literally it's going to take a minute and a half. But yeah, we can't have everything, can we? But I do get your point on that one. So that's all I've got ready for you today. Nasdaq's coming down nice. Looks like the markets are still selling off. What's going on with DAX? Ooh, straight through yesterday's low. Look, that's the first bullish candle we've had, and they are not happy today. So the markets are not happy today. Buy the pops. No, sorry, sell the pops. Buy the dips. Sell the pops. I just sell the pops at the moment. I wouldn't buy the dips either. I do not want to be buying this thing up here. Danger. I'll be back at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So I'm going to switch the live room around today so that we're on earlier, because might as well trade this afternoon. Or not trade it, I'm going to watch it. I might trade it. I don't do news trading because it is dangerous, but we'll see what happens. But yes, I'll be back on at 1 o'clock. Trevor, what do you mean by VPS? VPS is where you run EAs. So you get a VPS and you put the EAs on a VPS. VPS is a virtual personal server. So this is a server, VPS server, which I remote desktop into, and all my EAs, all my MT4s with all my EAs are running on here. Yeah, because obviously when you turn computer off, your EA's turned off. If you shut MT4, your EA can't run. So you need a machine that's on 24/7, 365 with an MT4 running so that your EA can run permanently. That's a VPS. Whoops, I accidentally dragged the wrong window. So yeah, that's a VPS. If you're going to run the EA, you need a VPS really. If you're going to run it and let it run full time for you. Right, that's it for today. So I'll be back at 1 o'clock, and we will see how we get on with non-farm. And hopefully, non-farm today is going to catapult this bad boy up, which will undo a lot of the squeezes that are happening at the moment. And obviously, hopefully, the euro will come back down off of non-farm as well. So be a really interesting afternoon, and hopefully some really big movements and money, obviously, profit. Have a good morning. I don't think you're going to get a massive amount of movement this morning. The indices are certainly moving, but from an FX perspective, I think you'll find London will be probably fairly choppy today. Scalping ranges might be something if you want to do something today. M1 and M5 scalping ranges is there's that 100% again. What is that? It's going to bug me, that. I don't know what that is. It's in the same place on multiple pairs. So I've got to find out what that is. Have I got any fibs? What is that? Weird. Anyway, it's my problem. I'll find out what that is. It'll drive me nuts. Okay, so yeah, I'll be back at 1 o'clock. Hopefully have a good profitable morning. But yeah, don't expect massive amounts of movement. We're already looking like we're putting in an inside bar on the Asian range. So get ready for 1 o'clock. Probably do something else this morning. But you never know. We may get some movement ahead of non-farm. Be interesting to see where we are. So 1 o'clock I'll be on, ready for 1:30 non-farm payroll. We'll do a little bit of analysis as to what's happened this morning. If you've got any questions about anything, might be a good idea to ask them at 1 o'clock, because I've got a feeling the analysis will probably last all of about 3 to 5 minutes, because I've not got a lot of confidence in we're getting a lot of movement today. So yeah, I will see you at 1 o'clock. Anything you need, come into the Telegram group. I will be in there. If you like the stream, give us a thumbs up. And see you this afternoon, 1 o'clock.